So hey everybody, this is gonna be my interpretation or my I don't know what to call this because I'm not really critiquing the book, but I'm kind of just talking about I'm just talking about the books that I enjoyed or I can't well I enjoy reading all my books, but the books that the books that I've read and we just talk about the themes or the main aspects of the book. So I don't know what to call this because it's not necessarily critiquing it like I said. It's kind of analyzing the main points. So I don't know really what to call this, but of course we're gonna start with the first question about this book, and you can see here the years that matter most, how college makes us or breaks us. So the first question, of course, always is, what is the book about? And this book, it's mainly well, from the title, I thought this would be kind of a different type of book. I thought he would give his reasons for, which he kind of did through statistics and other things. But like I said, I thought he would give his reasons for what makes college good or what makes it bad. Which Paul Tuff, the author, he did do, but it wasn't in a way that I expected. Like I expected it to be straight information, but instead it was like the book is in biographical sections for different people, and basically they share their story on how they either succeeded or failed in the college system. Well, I can't say system, but how they succeeded or failed in college. So, number two, what was being said in the book? And this kind of goes with basically what do they talk about, but this kind of in more detail. So, they talked about, well, the main points that I remember from the book off the top of my head is that if you go to a more selective college, like an Ivy League college, which is the Harvards, the Yales, like the names that kind of everybody knows, except there are some that a lot of people don't know, like MIT. Well, if you're into technology, you know MIT. But if you attend a Ivy League college, and this is a cool statistic that he mentioned, there's a 1 in 5 chance that you'll make over $600,000 a year by your mid 30s. And the lower the college you go to, the chances go down. So other than Ivy League, the one that another college he talked about was Stanford, and I'm not sure if that's an Ivy League college or if that's a just a high academic standard college. So for high academic standard colleges, like what's the high academic standard? I can't think of one. Maybe like, things like Michigan State or Florida State, Clemson State, things those big colleges with good football teams and basketball teams basically. Those colleges academically they're doing good, and if you go to one of those colleges, there's a 1 in 11 chance that you'll make over 600,000. And of course, the lower down you go, the worse. So for community colleges, there's a 1 in 300 chance that you'll make over $600,000, which those are pretty bad odds, honestly. Those are pretty bad odds, but hey, you can do it though, especially since like it's not hard to get all this knowledge. Like for instance, like reading books for me, like it's fun now. And this is another thing they talked about actually, is that people who read books, like yeah, they're gonna go to college, but there's not a chance. Well, I can't say there's not a chance because there's always a chance for everything. But like I might not get into Harvard, like just because I read one book a day on these topics doesn't mean I get into Harvard. Like just because I have a 4.0 GPA doesn't mean I'll get into Harvard. Like they're like kids who are both academically smart and who are another thing they talked about was into sports and well stereotypically into rich white kid sports, which you don't have to be rich and white to be into it, but stereotypically, and those sports are things like rowing. Like I was thinking, and I don't know nobody who rows. I'm pretty sure rowing is the thing you do on canoes and things. So And they look for kids like those because they know that that takes time and effort to get into, which, you know, oh, it takes time and effort. It must means they're passionate about it. Well, I'm passionate with these books, and they would pick someone who has the same grades as me, but like if someone has the exact same grades as me, the exact same SAT, but they just did rowing, and in my free time I read books, they're more likely to get picked up than I am. So that's something that they talked about. Another thing, the social aspect, and another important thing, which pretty much there was a lot of important things that the author talked about in his book. He did a good job with that. Well, he didn't talk about it. The people talked about it through their experiences. So they did a good job about it, and he did a good job documenting it. So another thing, well, the last thing, because it's the last thing I'm going to talk about, is the income typical behavior, which is they pick their colleges based on the income they receive instead of picking the best colleges they can go to academically. So for my family being, I'm pretty sure we're in the low income category, which I don't know how low because yeah, I'm not sure how low we are, but like for me, they would suggest for me to go to like a community college or a normal college, and not things like Clemson State or things of that nature. So, but academically, I can get into a high academic school with my grades, especially since they showed a girl who had a 4.5 GPA, and she could have went to Yale if she wanted to, but like this is why I'm talking about Clemson State. Instead, she went to Clemson State, and I was thinking like a 4.5, and at Clemson State, she was one of the smartest kids there, and if she has a 4.5 and I have a 4.0, and I'm gonna take harder classes next year, so I have the opportunity to go to a good college, basically. Nothing is stopping me from doing that. It's all in my power. So number three, third question, is the book true? And I believe it's true in part because they they talked about a lot of aspects with going to college, but some things, well, I can't say it's true or if it's not true, honestly, because this is my first time reading on this subject. So obviously parts of it are true, but I'm not sure how much. So they talked about with the SAT being pretty much the lead factor for elite, that's what elite colleges look for, which I think. See, I can't have an opinion on it because I don't know. So is the book true? Yes, and we'll leave it at that. So what of it? What's the meaning of this book? Well, the meaning is that I can make it to college and I could receive a good education, especially with like I said my reading habits. And another meaning of this book is that anyone can make it. You don't have to read a book a day or have a 4.0 GPA to get into college. They showed instances where normal kids, and I don't know I don't know how normal other people are with grade wise, but they talked about the average was 3.6 GPA. So in my opinion, that's normal. Because if I'm at a 4, and I think 3.6 is normal. So I'm a little bit above average, and it's gonna go even up. But so even normal kids can get into college and get a good education and have a good life job. So the meaning is you can have it too. You can go to college too, and like here in the title, how college makes us or breaks us. Don't be frightened by college and don't let it break you down, because when you're really having trouble, that's when you're learning. And I learned that through reading a lot of books. When they go through trials and tribulations, that's when they grow the most. So just know that if you were thinking about going to college, you should start looking out now. and just know you can make it.